Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to this Friday's Wizards Council. It's Nick Perro and Lawrence Winterman. We're down one wizard today, which, that's okay. Um, how are you doing, brother?
Man, what a week! What a week! I thank God it's Friday in ever so many ways. I cannot believe all the shit that has gone down this week. What about you?
Ye- Has it been a week? Has there been much going on?
Right? Yeah.
I feel like it's been pretty quiet. I don't distinctly remember anything major happening.
Yeah. No. God.
Um,
September total wash so far. Just no
yeah,
good news
like
whatsoever.
was this week the week that Taylor announced her
Right.
announced
Right. Yeah. The last thing I remember is Taylor and Travis getting engaged, and then it's all just sort of a blur from there.
yeah, it's I don't know what happened after that. Um
Man. Like, what the fuck
man,
is actually
it's
going on?
it's been a freaking
Oh
week
shit.
is what it's been. Yeah. Um I mean, as we all know, Charlie Kirk was murdered, assassinated
Yeah,
by, it sounds like, some 22-year-old. I don't know their name. I don't really care their name.
yeah.
Um,
It's a white guy name.
it was a white guy who was kind of MAGA, and um, by kind of MAGA, I mean not yes MAGA, very much so. And was one of those Groypers, apparently, which are the neo-Nazis from Nick Fuentes' side of the house, and they're nuts, and we don't always like them
Here's
because
my
they're
take on that, man.
neo-Nazis.
Like, if he was really a groyper, like that means not only was it not a liberal, it wasn't a trans person, it wasn't, somebody on the left. It means this is right on right violence. And the reason, if he's a groyper, that he might have targeted Charlie Kirk is because Nick Fuentes and that crazy group were warring with Charlie Kirk and Turning Point, which means Charlie Kirk got assassinated by somebody who's even more far right than he is.
Yes.
The dude killed him because Charlie Kirk was too moderate. I mean, we're speculating. We don't know that this kid is a groyper yet, but that's the rumor that's going
Yeah.
around. That's what's
Yeah.
storming on Twitter right now. And you know what? Like, Jesus fucking Christ, how could we lose the narrative about it being left wing violence when it's going to turn out that it's actually fucking them?
Yeah. 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 Like, and that was the part that pisses me off the most about a lot of this is they're all just like, it's immediately, oh, it's some left-wing troll, it's some left-wing asshole did this, blah, blah, blah. No, no, no,
Right.
it is not. It has not been 99% of the time. It is not a left-wing asshole committing terrorist attacks. It's a fucking right-wing dude with a gun who's gone nuts, probably young 20s. Like if I was going to profile somebody,
Which is fine now. The Supreme
which
Court
is
has said that you
fine.
can profile, right?
Yeah, I can profile people apparently. So white people are all terrorists. Like you should probably assume a white guy with a gun is a terrorist.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like you know, men as a gender should be profiled, white men in particular, and then maybe white men in, certain age range from like 16 to yeah, I don't know. Like actually, I don't think there is an upper limit.
Yeah, no, no, pretty much until you're dead, I guess.
Yeah,
Um, which really sucks because I mean I'm a white dude and I don't want to be profiled,
right. Yeah,
because I'm
I
not a
mean,
terrorist.
same.
Um,
Maybe I'll
but you
start wearing my
know,
pink triangle and my yellow star like in advance so that they can pre-sort me when the trains start rolling up, but also so in the interim people would be like, "Oh no, he's gay and Jewish. He's okay."
he's all right. He's all right. Yeah, we
Right.
got this guy. We were
Yeah.
actually kind of talking about that a little bit, Melissa Corrigan and I. Because we hosted the first of the Banner and Backbones Anti-Fascist Book Club
Nice. Nice.
today.
Next week I'll be
So
there.
yeah, so next week for anyone who's joining the first two we're going to be doing the first two in the series, first two reads of the series for next Friday. 12:30 Eastern every Friday. We're going to be doing the Banner and Backbone Book Club, uh, anti-fascist book club. So keep notes out and eyes out for that, y'all. And we'll be putting notes in the show notes about which books, where you can buy them from, that are not Amazon, so that we don't support Bezos and all his stupidity. Um, and um, read some cool books about how to be prepared for fascism, because it's here and we need to fight back and push back. Uh,
Yeah.
but this is Wizardry today. This is where we get to relax a little bit. We don't have to quite talk about the stupidity of things going on. Maybe we could talk about well, other than Charlie Kirk happening this week. Let's pull back the curtain from
Yeah.
all a little. Other than Charlie Kirk, we always like to have like a rage story that we each can go off on and get some juice out. Do you have a good rage story? I know you had fucked up Friday this morning on Gen Xy already. I was
Yeah.
able to be there, so I couldn't hear your fucked up story of the week. Maybe
Yeah.
also rage inducing and not Charlie Kirk.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you the synopsis of the three stories that me and Dana and Julie Roginski brought forward this morning, and we could talk about any one of those three. So Dana's was the story about how there was all of the contraception, IUDs, birth control pills, everything that was intended to be sent by USAID to third world countries, and the Trump administration put a stop to the shipment and decided rather than use any of that stuff, they burned it. The rage-inducing piece of this is apparently the Gates Foundation reached out to them and said, "Hey, we'll buy it from you. Like, not only do you not have to lose money here, not only could you just like break even like we will pay you. You will make money." And I said, "No, no, we'd rather spend $160,000 to burn it than sell it to you." So that was story number one. Story number two from me was the story about the Supreme Court this week basically deciding, racial profiling's okay if you're using it for scare and intimidation purposes of rounding up Latino-looking immigrants. You got a Mexican flag on your car? You speaking Spanish? Yeah, ICE can profile you and round you up, no problem. Little bit
Yeah,
brownie,
nothing wrong with that.
no big book. And then third one from Julie Roginski was the whole Russian incursion into Polish airspace, and the fact that like the rage inducing, I mean, there are many rage inducing pieces of that, but that this is happening. NATO is Poland is basically turning to NATO and saying, hey, we're invoking Article 4. You've talked about that already this week. But at that time, at the moment that it was happening, Trump and JD Vance and Marco Rubio and Pete Kegsbreath were at a restaurant having dinner, not in a secure room somewhere, not in the situation room, not getting updates on what was going on, eating at Joe's Crab Shack, and yeah, so basically, major violation of Allied airspace. They were just having a nice steak.
Oh, hey, we'll bring on the Knight of the Rainbow counts of the Rainbow Table if he wants to,
Ooh,
if
it's
he's
a
able
rainbow
to.
wizard mashup.
Yeah, Rainbow Wizards. Jacob, you won't be able to add your stream. You might not be able to um, merge your stream midstream, but we can try
Mm.
midstream merging. I'm gonna send you a link. Join with us, brother Jacob.
Right. We could
Um,
try crossing streams, but it's
yeah,
very
it doesn't
dangerous.
always work. Um, yeah, I don't even know where to go with that any longer.
My brain is exploding. Yeah. I
Like
mean, pick
it's
one, man.
just
Pick one of those stories. Pick another story. There's more.
no, I know, and like I'm reading a story on an app called Newsbreak,
Mm.
which is like a local news conglomerate app. The guys at Centered America told me about it, and it
Yeah.
was an app that I was looking into anyways, and it allows for like we could. cross-platform news onto Newsbreak for things that we break. I'm reading an article right now from Little Rock, Arkansas, or based out of Little Rock, Arkansas, is the new deployment of Arkansas National Guard troops to assist ICE, raising alarms among immigrant advocates who fear it may undermine public safety and heightening anxiety in Latino communities across the state. We have 40 unarmed Guard members sent to ICE offices in Little Rock, Fort Smith, Fayetteville, and Camp Robinson. Um, they're not carrying out arrests, but they are now the logistical and administrative support members for the Nazis. Like, your life must be miserable and then get even more miserable because Sarah Huckabee Sanders sent you to push paperwork to arrest brown people that have now been legally authorized to be racially profiled against. And so now we're just going to have our neighbors go and arrest our, or help arrest our neighbors, not be the ones who are doing the arresting. They're just going to push the paperwork that
Right.
allows their neighbor to get arrested and they can stay separated just far enough that they don't have to feel like a Nazi,
You
but
know,
they are a Nazi because the enabling Nazism by pushing the paperwork to be a Nazi still makes you a Nazi. Like,
yeah.
right? Am I wrong?
The No, no, you're not wrong. But the thing that I find mind bending about this, right, is like you know the National Guard. You are a veteran. Like the National Guard, those folks live in the communities, right? Like they live in the
Hmm.
communities they serve. Usually, they're very often from lower socioeconomic rungs on the ladder. They're usually from communities of color. And the very good deal that people get when they sign up with the National Guard is, they give time and experience in their training, and the understanding is that in a time of emergency they can be called up to fight forest fires
Yep.
or hand out food for after large natural disasters or whatever it may be, right? And in extreme circumstances, if this country is at war, like my brother-in-law, with Iraq after 9/11, he was in the National Guard, the Indiana National Guard. He got called up, he went and he served in Iraq. And that's the deal, that's the understanding. But you get a pension, you can you get Bill benefits from doing that. But these are often people from communities of color, and so you get called up by Sarah Huckabee Sanders in Arkansas, and you get sent to go support ICE doing their paperwork. Like, so there's a good chance that you are a person of color, a brown person who is helping to round up and ship out other brown people. Like, god damn, that's got to be a mind fuck.
Yeah. Well, like, and they're, hey, I see Ogre join
What's up,
in your
Ogre?
chat.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey, Ogre, if
well,
if you're around and you want to jump on a restream and the puppet is handy, come on over, bro.
yeah,
We know
I
you've
will,
got things to say.
yeah, I'll drop you a DM link. Just wave if you want to. Happy to throw you a link to join us. Um, And yeah, like all of these fucking individuals being sent, I don't know who they are, but they're all under Title 32 authority, which means it's federally activated. Um, and they're being fully paid through the federal government for it, but it's probably going to be 28-day-ish deployments because that allows them to not be activated fully and get like all sorts of benefits, like anything, like any of the TDY or which is your temporary deployment, your money to be able to get food and travel pay and separation pay from your family.
Right.
Because all 40 of these people, even if they didn't want to go like as their normal, like they were really just sort of pulled into it. There's 40 people who just got taken from their jobs and
Right.
pulled out of. um, and pulled out of the economy,
Yeah.
pulled out of their families' economies. Like they may have been doctors, they may have been firefighters, they may have been police officers, they may have been something. Oh, the 28-day thing, Sonny, that's where they give you orders for 28 days rather than 30, because after 30 days, they have to pay you. I think it's it's like 30 days, 31 days, they have to pay you additional benefits for, they have to pay you the full gambit of active benefits. And they don't um, they don't like doing that because it's a great way for them to save a whole bunch of money because they're cheap. They don't fucking like veterans and active duty service members, and they're assholes. And so they do shit like that. But yeah, these are
It's
40
basically like,
people who are no longer in the community just pushing paperwork for fascism.
right. It's basically like, the trick that happens all the time now where, your hours get cut the moment before you're about to start earning overtime, right? Like it's one of those little paperwork tricks that gets so often deployed in our lovely late stage capitalism, society that we're living in. I just want to point
Yeah.
out Erica Lee Sears just joined the chat. Hi, Erica. Erica's going to be on the Daily Whatever next week or the week after. We're super excited. Erica is an amazing artist, so please go check out her Substack. I absolutely love her paintings. She's so, so talented. So please go check that out.
Oh,
Um,
I'm gonna subscribe now.
yeah, subscribe.
Because
Everybody go
hell
subscribe to
yeah.
Erica and then ooh and ah over her art, which is luminous. I literally, like, the word that just keeps coming into my head for Erica's art is luminous. It is all about light and glow. It's gorgeous.
Oh, they're so beautiful. I'm
So
looking at some of
beautiful.
her paintings right now that are on here.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Ooh, the one, the blue, the road leading into, and it's all blues.
Honestly,
From
there's
three
so many,
days
like,
ago, Blue Nights. Wow. Yeah,
I
we
could
could
go.
spend the entire show just
She
looking at
has
her
this
paintings.
one that is it's just martini glasses and olives, and it's like, I think it's called Dirty Martinis, and it's like martinis, but rather than having like two or three olives in them, they have like 27 olives in them or something. There, I honestly, I look at that and I'm just like, oh yes, yes, come
Yep.
to Papa.
Yep. Yeah. And there's the Boo, the King Boo and balloon paintings. Like
Yes,
that's
that one
so
is
cute.
brilliant. That one is great. I think that's a one that she posted recently.
Yep.
And there's a whole series that she does of like cut fruit, and just
Yeah,
like
I've
the way
seen
the
those. Those are
light shines
amazing.
through the cut lemons and oranges is,
I'm
like, it
looking at the
makes my
lime
mouth
right
water.
now. Yeah, the lime, that's so cool. Your work is amazing, Erica. So I'm glad we get to talk about it here just and just admire your work for everybody else. I dropped your link into the chat,
Yeah, I put it in my chat as
into
well. So everyone
into
go check out
mine.
Erica's work.
Yeah, and if you're in a chat with Erica too, if you're on the phone, if you're in Lawrence's chat, you can actually scroll up to in the chat and just click on her name and subscribe right there. That'll allow you to not have to leave the chat at all. If you want a free subscribe to see some amazing artwork
Yeah,
that I just found out and Lawrence provided. So see, this is why I love Substack because we get to share things that are cool. Um, like the intro music. If anyone, for those who were here at the very beginning, the intro music to today's show is actually a minute long segment of a flute trio that I wrote while I was at a composition festival in France when I was 20, I think. So
mm,
15 years ago now. Um, and three of my friends at the time, very, very good flautists, performed it for me. I recorded and edited that that recording at the time myself, and I got to. They did it in a studio or in a little concert hall that was right next to Debussy's piano. So if you know Claude Debussy, he's a very famous French composer. Um, If you have synesthesia or have ever heard about it, it's where you experience sound through color, and sound produces like an audible color experience for you. He wrote music for those with synesthesia because he had it,
Hmm.
whether he knew it or not.
Was it
The
that
way
was
that,
that his kind of synesthesia? Was it sound becomes color? Because I mean,
yes,
synesthesia is like could be any sense switchover. Like for some people, sound is taste, or yeah. So,
from
but
what
was
I
that his
know,
sound becomes
from
color?
what I know, it was sound as color.
Nice.
A lot of composers, it's color. There's a very high propensity of synesthesia in the composition community.
Yeah.
Um, and so a lot of his music is very evocative of color, especially his ocean ones. La Mer is basically a song about the color blue.
Yeah.
Um, and you can feel the ocean and the blues and the changing and the greens mixing into it. And he does like wall chords almost, or like sound walls, but he
Hmm.
does it in such a way that it's so like just blends so smoothly, or you feel like you're there. And he painted with his music. Um, he would be called French Impressionism, although he would have hated that term because he hated the word impressionism. He didn't think of himself as an impressionist. And his student, I believe was Nadia Boulanger, or she trained right at the same time as him, around then. Her student was one of the folks who led the festival that I studied at, which is why we got to do it at where Claude Debussy studied, was because he worked with Nadia Boulanger, and it was her, and it was one of the French institutes. And so that was really cool. I got to all a lot of the any of the music that I use, because I have the rights to it because it's my music. Um, and I've never sold it, and I don't plan to sell it. Is it's going to
Unless you
be
have
the
Spotify
intros or
installed on your
extras for
phone,
our shows now.
right?
Huh?
Unless you have Spotify installed on your stuff on your phone, because they recently changed their terms of service so that any music that they discover on your phone, they can upload to their servers, and then they own it, and they can remix it and do anything they want with it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
So if you have Spotify on your phone, still delete it.
just by having Spotify,
Yep.
that
Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but it was a big deal. Melissa Corrigan posted about this recently that they changed their terms of service because Apple did something like this with Apple Music about 10 or 15 years ago, where there was a new release of Apple of iTunes, um, and it basically like scanned your entire hard drive, and any music you had on your hard drive, it cataloged and indexed, and it uploaded it to the Apple servers. And so people who had their own compositions on their machines discovered, suddenly that that music had been appropriated by Apple, and there was no way to prove, right? Really, without like an expensive legal fight. And so the story goes, and again, please double check me, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right, is that Spotify has recently done something similar where, like, if you've got music on your phone and Spotify on your phone, it has the ability to index all the other music on your phone and
in,
upload it to Spotify.
interesting. That sounds about right for them. Like they like to do data mining and stuff like that, all of these companies. So
Yeah,
I wouldn't put it past them at
right.
all,
I'm
but
sure it's under the
that's,
auspices of we just want to train our algorithm better to better understand
yeah.
what you personally like.
Yeah, it's that whole thing about like training algorithms on books. And like that's how Gemini learned.
Right.
Is Gemini like stole a whole bunch, or used, I won't say stole, utilized a whole bunch of books. And they couldn't no, what they did to get around the copyright is you cannot scan, say, the e-copy. They couldn't directly scan the book from the internet,
Right.
but
But they
nobody can
could.
stop them from buying a hard copy physical version of the book and scanning it into a computer and then uploading that into the AI model, which
Right.
is exactly what happened. In fact, for thousands of books, they did
Yeah.
that. Ripped apart thousands of books and
Right.
scanned and
Ripped them
uploaded
apart,
them.
like literally deconstructed the physical book
Yep,
so that they could
just
then
to
feed
get
it
it.
into big machines to scan it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you use Gemini and you're a writer, I wouldn't. Like, I would find a different AI or don't use it. And use AI exclusively maybe for like research on writing styles or things very, very, maybe not even that, because that's based on other writers' work, and you don't know if that other writer gave permission for their work to be a part of the AI
Right.
training model.
Right.
Um,
Sunny's asking over here in my chat. So it's she says so it's copyrighted. And sorry, Jen, Sunny, I just realized I don't they I don't know gender. Uh, they're asking like, is it copyrighted with the Spotify thing? And I think it's not necessarily that it's copyrighted; it's that they've got that music now, and they give themselves through their new terms of service the ability to clip or remix anything that they acquire, and then they can resell that. So, if you've got, I don't know, like Nick's lovely three flute composition that he has as our theme music, if they were to, accidentally upload that, they could then remix it or clip it and potentially sell that. Because you know, like, what am I trying to say here? Music.
Intellectual property rights aren't ours.
You're right, right. Yeah, you wouldn't have the intellectual property copyright on it. But if they created a clip of it, they could then sell as like lovely flute-based intro music. Then they could make money off of that.
Mhm. Yeah, they are very clever. I My original focus that I wanted to go into for college was actually copyright law.
Mm,
And I didn't get into the program at Syracuse when it was, I wanted to go to Syracuse University and go to a program for copyright and communications because I wanted to do the college basketball broadcasting for the Syracuse men's team because that was my favorite basketball team outside of the Celtics growing up. I always liked Syracuse. I don't know why. Um, and so I wanted to go to school there. I didn't get in. I guess I'm doing that kind of now-ish is the broadcasting part, but the copyright laws and stuff are so anti-musician and
right,
pro-business. It's so crazy. Like the fact that Taylor Swift had to spend almost $500 million just to
right.
buy the
To
rights
buy
to
her
her
own masters back.
own music is ridiculous. And I get you, if you want to use somebody's label, you have to give them a reason to let you use their label. But once you're done using that label, your rights should be back to yours and they should have like rental rights. And this is where I think this is so I don't like crypto and I don't like all the shit that goes on around it. But I do like NFTs. I do like the idea of NFTs, which are non-fungible tokens, which are a unique internet thing. Um, Imagine like a safety deposit box that could be wiped if somebody decided to just click the button that deleted it. Um, but if you own it, say on a local hard drive, then nobody can do that. But what an NFT is they're basically they're not hackable, um, but they are very secure compared to other things. And if we're talking like, how do you own your digital rights in the in 2024 um, or 2025, whatever fucking year it is,
Right, right.
um,
We slipped into
is
a time discontinuity. We're not supposed to be here.
I have a theory, but I don't know if I should say it out loud yet.
I mean, say it.
Is
If it's about how.
Harambe took his first victim in the Planet of the Apes pawn game to get back at us and reset us on the course of getting back onto the right timeline, because we needed some true sacrifices through Harambe, to undo the damage that was done when he died. And so I think the first of those happened 2 days ago. Um, and I'm not talking about those kids at that school. I am talking about Charlie Kirk being the first sacrifice for our Lord and Savior Harambe, as he returns us to the correct timeline and fixes what was done when he was killed.
Okay. Wow.
That's my conspiracy theory for the day. I don't believe in conspiracy theories, y'all. I want to. Who? Harambe? Ogre,
So
are you
Ogre
pulling my?
Ogre was
You
asking
better
before,
be.
like, you don't like crypto, but he spelled it like crypto, Superman's dog. So
Yeah.
and if somebody's asking who Harambe is from Planet of the Apes.
No, I think Ogre said who, and I'm hoping he's not asking who Harambe is, because that's the big gorilla. Oh, Kirk who? Captain Kirk, James T. James Tiberius Kirk, captain of the USS Enterprise, NCC 17714, I believe. Um,
1701.
1701?
Enterprise is 1701. And then,
Okay.
A, B, C, D, E.
James Tiberius Kirk, that's who we're talking about. He was the first. Uh, Khan! See, this is
Are
why we
we
need
are we
Ogre
going to talk
on.
about have you watched any of the seasons of Strange New Worlds?
No. Um, I watched some of Discovery. Um,
Okay.
and I mean, I've watched pretty much all the old stuff.
Yeah.
Anything except for Deep Space Nine. Um, I could never get through it. I like got partway into it and I was always like, this is so,
Oh,
so
Deep Space Nine is great.
boring.
Like it's a little darker and it's a little more political and esoteric. So here's the funny thing: I didn't really watch all of the seasons of Discovery, um, but I absolutely like watched Strange New Worlds like the minute it dropped with its first season, and I loved the first two seasons. And they just finished airing the third season like yesterday, and goddamn, I hated the third season. Has anybody else out there watching Strange New Worlds and incredibly disappointed at the third season? It was so dumb. It's like they had all new writers and they were like, okay, the first two seasons were killer. We had amazing stories. Let's ruin them all.
You know, it's that whole like we didn't need the third Matrix thing that happened. Like they could have stopped at the first, but I get why they made the next two. But we really only needed the first. Like it was perfect on its own. Why ruin it with a sequel? Because I mean, sometimes season two is better, but season three never, not always. It's what was it? Sorry, what was that stupid show we all liked? Game of Thrones.
Right.
Um, where it started out really, really good. Like we were all like, oh, the acting is great, the quality is great. Looks like this stallion, beautiful horse, and then by
Right.
the
That
end,
that
it's a
classic
fucking
drawing. Yeah,
stick
it's so good.
figure that's too dark. You can't see the goddamn battle. The whole season finale is in pitch black, and you're like, where's the fighting? Who is the new king? Why did this happen this way? Why did she just do what she did? Where are the rest of them? And then nothing. And then just stupid. Just stupid. Fucking hated it.
Yeah.
I also hate the fact that he didn't finish his books. It's also like I'm gonna dig at an author here
I
who
mean, word on
deserves it.
that front is that he is very close to finally finishing Winds of Winter or whatever the hell the last one's called. So
Yeah,
That's the
word
word
on the
that I
front is
hear.
Patrick Rothfuss is also about to be done. His series um, that everybody in his book world has been waiting on. Um, Patrick Rothfuss, sorry, um, with The Name of the Wind, The Wise Man's Fear, and then nothing in that series.
Hmm.
It was supposed to
Uh,
be a trilogy that he didn't fucking finish and that he's
oh
been
no.
teasing for months and years. It's been through COVID, dude. You had enough time to write the fucking books. Like, you had COVID to write the rest of your book and you couldn't get it done.
Yeah. Do you? Maybe you don't remember. I mean, you do remember. You're old enough to remember this, but like when before J.K. Rowling was a horrible, horrible, horrible person, and we all hated her.
Yeah.
Like when she was writing the Harry Potter series, like that time period as she was on like books 5, 6, and 7, where everyone in the world was eagerly awaiting the next book, and I would literally have moments where I'd be like, oh God, just let me live long enough so that I can read the ending of Harry Potter. Like please, please,
Please let me finish it.
please, my God, I can't die and not know how Harry Potter ends. And oh God, I woke up yesterday morning. I was so sad that Charlie Kirk he's never going to hear Taylor Swift's new album.
Just shake it off.
I
Shake,
just,
shake, shake it off, bro.
for him, it's like he's never going to hear it. And
Uh,
that's just so sad.
he's never gonna know true like genius because he's never gonna finish hearing the rest of her music.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, apparently
Who's she
it's like
gonna
a
have to?
super,
Who's
it's
she
like a
gonna write her
super
next
pop
album
hype
about?
album. Oh, I just said that all backwards. Super pop hype album coming out.
I
He's
know
not
it would
going
have been his
to
favorite. Yeah, he had a sore
get a
throat. He'll
sore
go.
throat
He'll
to
get
the
to
ear.
it
Come
later.
over. This is why we love you, man. Jesus.
See, this is why this is not a news show, my friends. This is us unwinding from the week.
Right.
So
In,
don't get
in case
upset
you're
with
tuning
us.
in and you're like, what the fuck am I watching? Uh,
Why did somebody get a sore throat? And is he going to get over it later? He'll shake it off, but he
ooh.
probably won't.
Have you seen the meme? It's Charlie Kirk's quote where he's saying like I believe it's worth it. That it's worth it to have several deaths every year from gun violence, so that we can use the Second Amendment to defend our other rights or whatever. And immediately underneath it, it's like his face on Katniss's body in that scene where she's like, "I volunteer as tribute." I'm sorry. Sorry. Sorry,
Don't be
not sorry.
sorry.
Yeah.
Should I say the one that was sent to us um with the I almost gave away the ending. Um maybe. All right, listen up, liberals. Counting or not counting gang violence.
Yeah.
That's how much gang violence there is. He had a frog in his throat that day.
Oof. I mean, if this kid is a groiper, like we're hearing, the whole frog in the throat thing takes on a completely different meaning, right? They're the ones that
Kermit,
have that like Pepe the Frog thing going on.
Pepe
Yeah.
came popping out like a fucking alien getting birthed.
Oof. Oh my God. Somebody's going to clip this and we're going to go viral for
We're gonna go
being
on the news and
libtard
they're gonna be
monsters.
like, these fucking idiot, these hateful libs, bros, MAGAs. We're not hateful, but he was a piece of shit. Like, y'all got
I,
to admit, we weren't the ones who did it either. Like, you guys are the ones. You
yeah.
guys did it. Like,
You know,
you
so
did it.
Dana was
Royper did
pointing
it.
out on the Daily Whatever, the other day, like she was pointing out, it really is so ironic. Like rarely in history do you have a moment where like a thing happens like this that is just so almost poetically ironic, right? Like the dude who famously hated all kinds of people, all kinds of liberals, all kinds of people different from himself, who was a staunch advocate of the Second Amendment and gun rights, and was literally talking about, you know, guns and mass killings and school shootings and things in the moment that he was assassinated with a gun. Like, there's a such a crazy irony there. And if then layered on top of that, it ends up being true that this was some Groyper kid who murdered him because he wasn't right wing enough,
MAGA
because he
enough.
was too moderate, because Charlie Kirk was too moderate and needed to be taken out. Like,
Yep.
God
Yep.
damn, the irony burns. That's like irony distilled down into its most basic form, so that it's like it fucking burns.
Yeah. Well, it burned on the way out.
Oof,
It might have been cauterizing. Um,
oof.
but it wasn't a lightsaber, so maybe not. Um, you know, it is it is the height of irony that
Oh,
that a
ogre,
20
ogre.
oh ogre you don't
Ogre says he's
know
been offline all morning. So Twitter is a buzz, a flame. Yes, I'm dead naming
it,
Twitter. Twitter is a buzz with the idea that this kid who got arrested, they arrested Charlie Kirk's killer, 22-year-old white guy. So the story is apparently that he's a groyper, which I didn't know what that term meant until today. It's Nick Fuentes. It's those guys. It's the
it's the
super ultra
neo-Nazis
crazy neo-Nazi MAGA folks who are so right wing that they beefed with Charlie Kirk because he
because
wasn't MAGA enough.
he went back on Israel. He went against APAC and he continued to push for the Epstein file release. I watched some of the video of him with Megan Kelly, I think it was yesterday while I was on with Zev Shalev for a little while last night. Um, and oh yeah, they are the worst. The Groypers are the fucking worst, as well as Megan Kelly and Charlie Kirk. Is
God, I
that
think we might have just broken Ogre or made his day.
I think we made his day.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. Yeah. That unreserved laughing is. I mean, right? That's pretty much how I feel.
yeah,
Like,
like
oh, you said it was like crazy libtards and trans people. That there were shit. Apparently, there was shit engraved on the casings of the bullets, except it was all like pro MAGA shit. It was all like Groyper manifesto bullshit. So
yeah, like these motherfuckers didn't like Charlie Kirk because Charlie Kirk said that Netanyahu went too far and has made it hard to be pro-Israel, and that he's been pushed away from it because of how the response has been. And that's Charlie Kirk saying that. And then Charlie Kirk demanded for the Epstein files to continue to be released. Like, it ain't us that are killing them. It ain't us. I don't want to kill anybody. I don't want to fucking kill people. Also, I think he had I can't say the easy way out because I mean, you got fucking shot. Like, I don't want anybody to get shot, but he took the unaccountability way out. He did not get true accountability. He got irony. Um,
right,
but I don't think he got accountability because he didn't get to see the undoing of his actions and the reconciliation process that would have come afterwards, where he
right,
would have gotten legal accountability too.
right, right. Like in an ideal universe, Charlie Kirk would live to a ripe old age, where he would have gotten his comeuppance. He would have gotten he would have been held accountable for all the shit that he sowed. And then he would have lived to a ripe old age of complete and utter irrelevance, where no one would remember his fucking name and
Yep.
any of his ideology. If you mentioned it at some point in the future, people would be like, "Ooh, gross. That's like the worst thing I've ever heard. Who could ever believe that?" That would have been fair. That would have been justice, right? Like, but instead, he's a martyr, which is disgusting. And apparently, if all of this shit is true about this Tyler Robinson kid being a groyper, he's a martyr because of right on right violence, which
Which
fuck you, Donald Trump, for saying it was Antifa and it was trans and all that other bullshit.
two finger salutes. All
Two
those two
finger
finger
salute.
salutes. Have fucking fun today with that, Donnie boy.
Yeah,
Um, and what it also preludes is more right on right violence as they purity test themselves either into oblivion or into like radical extremism and like really, really bad things coming. But like they're targeting themselves because that's who is the real threat to each other. They're the threats to each other. I'm not a threat to them. You're not a threat to them. We're not threats to them. They don't
right.
even really know who we are. They're threats to each other because they're the only ones who could take over when this ends. Like Charlie was set to be the heir apparent of MAGA. Like that was his role. He built Turning Point. He built the reason Donald Trump was back in office this year, like why he won the last election, or at least had the youth vote in this last election. That's Charlie Kirk. That was
Yeah,
his doing. One,
yeah,
we never have to worry about him again doing it. He
yeah.
will never go on a college campus again and spew hate towards kids and take advantage of children. And I think the world's a better place because of that. And he didn't deserve to die because I wish he would have lived to a ripe old age where nobody gave a shit about who he fucking was. And he would have been the most irrelevant human being in the world.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. The thing is, there are a million Charlie Kirks out there, right? Like there's
Mhm.
absolutely some other right wing piece of shit kid who is gonna step right into Charlie Kirk's shoes and and do the thing, right? Like in my head, I'm pre-writing the science fiction time travel story about the person, Charlie Kirk was the next Hitler, right? And the person traveled back in time to off him, and as usual with time travel stories, it's all going to go fucking horribly awry and end up being worse. But uh, Jesus Christ,
Yeah, like I'm so glad I don't write fantasy right now, trying to keep up with like being ahead of everything that's going on because like I don't envy you for having to do that while trying to write. Like that kind of sucks.
yeah. I,
I
let's face
like
it
being able to
though,
write commentary on the real world in poetry. That's easier.
yeah, yeah. I suppose that probably is easier. I mean, this time period is just going to be, like a gold mine for future science speculative fiction writers who want to fuck around with time travel and crazy shit, right?
Yeah,
Um, I, I keep imagining like future movies, like movies that come out 10 or 20 years from now, where it's a flashback and everybody's wearing masks, and people are going to be like, "It's 2020, it's the pandemic. That's what's going on." Right? Like you know
I
that immediately because everyone's wearing a face mask.
I cannot wait for kids to have to learn the history of this time period, though, because it's going to be the most jumbled fucking chapter of events that could possibly happen at one period. It's like we went from peace and like it was, at least in the US, it was very peaceful in the 90s. Maybe not so much in the Middle East because of, Desert Storm and things like that. Um, but at least here back home, it was peaceful. And then all of a sudden, two towers were attacked.
Right.
Racism was unleashed, and Harambe died. Donald Trump rolled down the golden elevator of hell and brought the rest of us further down
Yeah.
and has continued bringing us into this Planet of the Apes fucking Civ like basic game of moving people around and hating each other until somebody is propped into the right spot and we spark the return and come back. And god damn it, I wish Loki was here to like reset shit and actually do something. Like we had
Welcome to
superheroes
the
because we've
Wizards
got Lex
Council, where we nerd
Luthor,
out.
but no superhero. Like,
Yeah, my
come
my
on.
take. I want to write the story, of the time traveler who goes back and just plucks Monica Lewinsky out of the White House, and everything's different, right? Like Bill Clinton doesn't get that particular blowjob. There's no blue dress. He doesn't get, impeached. He did get impeached, right? Didn't he? He got impeached.
They,
No, they didn't. They didn't actually impeach him anyway, right? But
yeah,
like
they tried
then
to.
then Al Gore ends up winning the election because there's no, Clinton fatigue thing that's happening. And yeah, maybe 9/11 doesn't happen because who knows what the story, everything could be different. Hillary ends up being president at some point. Sure, go for it. Barack Obama, Kamala, we get all the good people. That's my story. That's the timeline I want to live in.
Yeah, yeah. The funny thing is, you started it with Monica Lewinsky. Um, my fraternity in college. So I was in a fraternity in college the first time around that I went to school, and um, her brother is one of my fraternity brothers historically, and he was in school when it happened in the fraternity. And the love letters sent were apparently quite inviting her to come to the house were quite through the roof, or through the floor, I guess would
Yeah,
be.
I'm sure you
um,
didn't participate in any of that, Nicholas.
well, I wasn't there at the time.
Okay.
I Bill Clinton was president when I was like 6, when I
Okay.
was a
Yeah. I
kid.
keep forgetting
I
that you're
was
like
I was born
a
in the
solid
90s.
generation younger than me.
Yeah, I'm a millennial. I'm a solid like mid-millennial millennial. Um,
Right. And
I
I'm
got to ex
mid Gen X.
I got to experience Y2K in middle school and see adults freaking out over clocks that were going to get set back to whatever year it was. I forget what year they set it to for.
1800, 1700, something dumb.
I don't remember, but they all thought it was going to
1492.
go back in time because we were like, everybody was like, oh my God, it's not going to know what to do except +1 is still +1. So it was going to go from 1999 to 2000. It's like people forgot that computers had more than 2 digits that were assigned to like calendar years.
Well, no, no, no. It
And
wasn't. It wasn't that. It wasn't that simple. It was.
no, I know it wasn't that simple, but that's really what it boils down to in the end is they forgot that computers knew how to do math and that the actual sequencing clock on um the timestamp system they use was supposed to reset.
Well, see, this is interesting because what I understood was that the reason it wasn't a catastrophe is because they actually did a good job of pushing out all of the fixes to the clock.
Oh, I didn't even know that they were pushing out fixes to the clock.
Oh God, like it was.
I've always figured since we've used a clock system that's not actually based on the stand like people what people most people don't know is like the time-based clock system for your computer is not based to start in like 1900.
Right.
It starts in like 1970 something on a very specific day. um and that's actually when clock sequences are supposed to have issues, is when um the actual real like um long form numbers that they use for like millisecond or micromillisecond or whatever it is they break it down to, um that's going to reset at some point soon, and that's a real problem. um but I don't know if they fixed it or care,
Yeah. No,
or
there
if
there was
they're
a huge remediation effort. Like billions of dollars were spent. Like I think if you were, Accenture, PricewaterhouseCoopers, or any of the big consultancies. I know Accenture didn't exist back then, but if you were any of the big consultancies, you made like skajillions of dollars, basically, hiring people out to recode, right?
Hmm. Yeah, and Y2K was overblown. I mean, as a kid, I guess it was. For me, it was overblown because we didn't know. Um, but seeing if I mean, if there are systems and updates that they had to do to fix Y2K, and if it wasn't, and if it's based on clocks and like time within computers, like let me look at the um is I'll find it while I'm when. There's a specific name for it, but maybe it's what they did was they set it to the new date that is actually coming up soon, or may not have recently passed. But there's a synchronization clock that's used for timestamps in computers. That is probably the same thing from Y2K then. Um, that's going to come back and bite us in the ass because, like every good problem that we do on the internet, and especially as Americans, is we don't fix the problem, we just push it down the road.
Right. Okay, so the next one is called the year 2038 problem. On January 19th, 2038, at 03:14:07 Universal Time, the integer overflows would cause time to roll back to a negative number or reset to 1901.
Yeah.
So, yeah. The good thing about the 2038 problem is it's going to solve itself because we're not going to be around that long.
Yeah,
Bro
we
shares
might not have
invading
to
from
worry
their
about it. We'll be
space.
in a dark age.
Right. Ogre says that's when the asteroid hits. Probably, right? Like, yeah.
That's when Godzilla comes out, or if you're from the Seattle area, that's when Ramtha comes out of the mountain and the
Ooh,
lizard
Ramtha.
people
There's a
come
name
and
I
start
haven't heard in a
fucking killing
while.
everybody. Oh yeah, we live near the Ramtha area, the cult
Yeah.
compound in Yelm,
Daisy Knight.
Washington. It's cool to drive by because they have like gun turrets and stuff. Like they have guard towers outside. There aren't weapons posted in them that you could visibly see, but it is a cult. Um,
I thought they got raided. I thought they got all like IRS destroyed.
I don't know. They might have. It's been a while since I've been there. Um, but they're weird. Like Ramtha is super nuts. For those who don't know, Ramtha is a cult that believes that lizard people are going to come out of specific volcanoes around the world. Specifically, Mount Rainier is one of them. Um, and they're going to kill all of us, basically, and become our overlords. So praise
And at this
Ramtha.
moment, what I say is welcome.
Yeah,
Please,
welcome, lizard people.
kindly, here is Trump and Putin and Netanyahu. Welcome,
Eat them
Overlord.
first.
Please take them.
Yeah. If the aliens show up and they go, take me to your leader, I'm going to say, with pleasure.
Right. Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
please
It
take
tastes
them
great
first.
with a nice A1 steak sauce.
Yeah.
Please have
I'll
at it.
give you, nah, we'll give them even like Stubbs steak sauce. So, like, something good. Um, like, even make it like tasty. We'll make our own steak sauce for you, bros. Like, UFOs, aliens, I'm inviting you to come and probe the fuck out of the White House. I don't know if they'll enjoy it, but probe the fuck out of them anyway
I strongly
because
suspect
they
Stephen
need it.
Miller. Stephen Miller would not. None of that would surprise him. It wouldn't be his first time. I'm guessing.
I mean, I have said it before. He does look like a penis just stretching through the foreskin and just popping out like, "Well, I'm a diglet." That's kind of what he is. He's a foreskin diglet.
Oh my God, friend! And it's the top of the hour. On that note,
What? You want to stop after that?
right? We might
No.
leaving the people with that glorious image of Stephen Miller as a giant penis trying to break through a too tight foreskin.
I'm
Uh,
gonna just I'm gonna wear a balaclava next time, and I'm just gonna pull my head through and do a
nice.
good Stephen. I'll shave my head and do a good Stephen Miller impression. Um,
Right. Katie, where's Katie?
Where is my wife
Where's my
gone? Why
wife?
did she go with the other weird guy
Right,
who's a nerd? That dork stole my wife and
right.
impregnated
Wait, but
her.
you're a dork. Yeah.
Yep,
Oh
it's
my
the
God,
dork
my friend.
fest. And on that, my friends, have a great afternoon. Happy Friday. Don't be a groiper. Don't go shoot people.
Right.
And if you see Stephen Miller, go like this and just tell him he's a groiper and he looks like a penis, because what's he gonna do?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say punch him in the face, but Secret Service would probably tackle you to the ground. But anyway, thanks for being here,
Anyway,
everybody.
yeah.
Have a great weekend.
Thanks, y'all. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next Friday.
See you later, everybody.